right. So yeah, if you haven't watched The Matrix and you're a junior engineer, you gotta watch it. So this is what you need to tell them. The last junior engineer that joined one of the teams, I asked him, and he was, oh yeah, it's like a really old movie. I was like, I need to take a walk. All right. My name is Luis Alejandro Vega. I'm an engineer manager at Bloomberg, and this is a pretty unconventional title here called Mascot-Driven Development. This is a story of how I became an engineering manager and how the transition was very non-linear, and I made a lot of mistakes. So I want to open up those mistakes, and hopefully you can learn from there, or if you not, I know you made them too. All right. So quick history of me, Colombian American. I've been in the States since I was 16. The accent never wanted to leave, so I live with it. I'm a University of Florida grad. I worked 2 years at Sage Software where I was in school, 13 years, I'm proud, at Bloomberg. I have been in mainly three different teams, charts and data visualization as a junior and senior engineer. Then I transitioned into what we call a team lead, this is a manager, in application frameworks, in software infrastructure, and then I lead a number of teams now in developer experience. When I'm not doing engineering stuff, I'm usually blogging with my beautiful wife, which happens to be here, and then exploring New York and Greenpoint. Cool. So my story at Bloomberg begins from college. I joined, and I started joining as a junior engineer. When I joined Bloomberg, I was petrified. Everybody was so smart, and I was like, okay, I got lucky. Let's do this. I cannot disappoint these people here, right? I really started making friends. This is something that I always do. I leave my ego at the door, and I started listening, making friends, and learning. I really kept learning through my first years at Bloomberg. It was like an overload. And this is going to come important in the future, so that's what I'm bringing in. So I work at charting applications. This one here is called G. As it was mentioned, Bloomberg has over tens of thousands of applications, and all of them have a name, which is 1 or 4 letters. So it's very tough. It's very hard to remember them all. This one is G. I learned during these 7 years the impact of Bloomberg internally and externally, what happens if Bloomberg doesn't work. I learned that it has to work, basically. I really built on building my network, meeting engineers, meeting other people in the company, doing a lot of volunteering and philanthropy to really build that network, but enjoying doing it. And then the lesson was, hey, things are going to change, and things are going to keep changing, so you really need to embrace constant change. So, yeah. There you go, sorry. Okay, so one day I was in the elevator, and I used to work a lot with software infrastructure, because in charting you had to do it. And this manager that I had a lot of interactions with, some positive, some a little, contentious, sent me in the elevator and says, hey, Luis, I have an offer for you. I need you to lead a team. You know those applications that you're always sending us ticket to? You're going to lead that. And I was like, whoa, talk about eat your own product, eh? I freaked out. I was like, no, I don't know if I should do this. Like, I'm really good where I am right now as a senior engineer. I love coding. What should I do? And I really had like this big imposter syndrome of like, if I do this, it's going to be a huge mistake. Gladly, that network, those friends, those colleagues actually kind of like say, no, you were born for this. You need to do this. And they literally just kind of like forced me to do it. I was like, okay. I definitely checked with my mom, and she was like, okay, do it. It's like, okay. All right, I should do it. So I joined this new department. I was like, okay, yes, I'm going to do. It's overnight at Bloomberg. You change on a Friday. You come to your new desk on Monday, with your backpack, and like, hi, I'm new here. I'm leading a team. And then I was like a complete new department. Again, kind of like the same feeling when I joined Bloomberg. I was like, I messed up. And that's my first thing. So the first thing I know is that obviously when you transfer departments, and you're going to lead a team, you're going to have ownership of things. So I went from nothing to like, okay, Luis, you own these products that you keep complaining about. So it really felt like 0 to everything. And I really didn't comprehend that like I really had to just sit down and learn my new domain. I maybe was a little like too on panic, but like after I sat down and I was like, okay, let me check my portfolio of applications. What is it, everything that I own? And I start like numbering it, and I'm like, okay, now the thing with the networking is that when people find out that you're there, they were happy. They're like, yes, Luis is there. He's going to fix this thing because he's our friend. So they start contacting me and it's like, hey, Luis, there's a bug here. You need to go and fix it. You need to really go do this. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Oh, no, like relationships, you have to like pay attention to people. Okay, got it. But that's it. And then there were a lot of them. So it was a lot of overload, and it really just took time to like step back and say, no, let me learn what I own, and then I continue. So after that was done, I realized that there was a lot of work to be done. So I joined, and I was like, okay, time to code. This is what I've been excelling at. I love coding. Let's do it. So I started going ticket by ticket by ticket and like fixing and fixing and fixing. But the reality is that there were multiple. There's just more than one person can do. So what I realized at the end of like 2 weeks or like sprint is that, wait, I have more tickets than what I started with. This is not the direction that I want to be doing. I'm sinking. And that's what I realized, wait a second. I didn't come here to be like a lead senior engineer. I came here to lead, to build a team. And that's one lesson that I really took is you cannot have a team of one because the things that you have to do are just bigger and bigger than that. So next step was to recruit. So I changed my entire mindset. I basically told everybody nothing is going to get fixed. I mean, it's been like this, so it's okay. And then, let's be honest. So I focus on recruiting, So, okay, I need to recruit people. What do I do? And then that's when the network came up. Somebody said in their morning talks that when you recruit, people focus too much externally outside the company. I had the opportunity that in Bloomberg we have a system to like internal transfer semi-easily, and I used that network. And those engineers that I was so proud of, so scared of on my first day, became my peers. And became my peers that when I told them, hey, we're going to build a really cool team, like it's going to be an awesome team, somehow they believed me. So they're like, okay, let's go with Luis. I think it's going to be a cool team. So I gathered some engineers, and then I started doing that. And then we did a little bit of like a multi-level recruiting, because then they that came said, hey, I have a friend outside the company. We went to school together. The guy is awesome. I'm like, bring him. And then you can use your own team to recruit. I learned that the moment you start like setting the environment for recruiting in your team, then everybody wants to take part of it. And it really becomes like, collecting an album or like really excited to like build like this group of people that you can kind of like handpick. Awesome experience. Obviously, it's not always like that, but in this case, it was like that. So I really just like started taking it in, and I was obsessed with it. Like, when I have dreams of work is when I'm like, I need to take time off. This is it. This is where I trace the line. And I kept using the network to grow the team. Cool. So we have a team. So now what? How can we really build this? Now, the two mascots that were behind were our mascots for our JavaScript frameworks at Bloomberg that were built some years ago by a designer, and they were like put on some T-shirts, and that's it. But I talked to that person, and I said, no, I really need to make a difference. And then going back to that slide of the charts, in Bloomberg, every function, 10,000 of them are 1 to 4 letters. But they are like letters. And I said, wait, what if we make them words, like things that people understand? And what if we have a mascot? And what if we print infinite stickers of the mascots and give it to all engineers? So Jack was our first one. And the funny thing of coming with a name is that you just need a loosely association and you're good. Jack, it's a system that we built to help engineers get their customer logs, okay? So lumberjacks, they go to the forest, they cut the trees, and they bring the logs. Really bad. For the dads in the room, thank you for laughing. That's what's up. So Jack, that's it. But it was a difference because now people started talking about this application. We printed the stickers. The head of engineering had a sticker on his laptop, and there was no one line of code written. It was like, oh, is this vaporware? No, it's mascot-driven development. So then, we get Jack. Now, why did we pick this? And this is the lesson. When I look at our portfolio of functions, usually we try to pick the best one and then building on that. But I did the opposite. I decided to pick our biggest weakness. What was like our Achilles heel. And then that was like, there was no way to get customer logs. It's a big problem. Or like not an efficient way. So we did this and that was great. Why? Because the bar was this high. So when we presented our prototype, it was like flying over the bar. I was like, whoa, how did you do that? I was like, well, I mean, it was easy. It's the secret. We created an MVP, right? And like, since we're doing developer tools, we had the opportunity of delivering this to our engineers, which they are very vocal, and they come back and tell us when things are right or wrong. So yeah, so basically by that, we kept iterating and delivering really fast, which really look like, wow, this team is doing a lot really fast. And we were very proud of it. The thing that I didn't calculate is these mascots really started, the team really started embracing it. When they started, when one member brought a T-shirt, like a lumberjack shirt to work, I was like, wow, people are really into this thing. It's great. So we started coding. We started coding this application. And then this is when I was really excited, and I started jumping in the code, and I was like, okay, let's do this. We're going to create a pipeline. What are we going to do? Obviously, we're going to use TypeScript because we're not going to be crazy to use just JavaScript. And then I started jumping there, and I started doing what I used to do all my last 7 years, which was code the hard parts. And then I realized that I also had to manage a team. So what I realized is that the team was sitting around waiting for Luis to deliver what he promised, which is the most critical feature of the application, and he was busy on a one-on-one. And I was like, oh, this is a problem. So it's when I had to realize that, what am I doing here? Am I here coding? Am I creating? Or am I leading? And a huge lesson came to me, which is to stay away from the critical path. And I'm going to keep repeating this because it is such an important lesson. If you're starting in a team, I really feel like, I hate like giving advice and stuff, but like I think this is one that is good because like it really helped me. The moment I decided to stop coding the important things and let my team do it, let them shine and like really build that, things really started moving really fast. I was the one changing the title and putting the labels, and that's okay. They were okay with that. So I lead the team code. So really, as I realized that my job was not to code. My job was to lead and really help the team be as efficient as possible, protect them from all the noise outside the world, and again, just stay away from the critical path. I do help them a lot creating like the road mapping and stuff. Now, this character here is called good. Again, loosely association to the word Global Object Ownership Dashboard. Good go. It shows you all of the assets that you own and stuff. But how does this come into creation? What happened here is that one of the members of the team had an idea, and we had this time for them to really come up with like moonshot projects and things that they would like to do, or what will you do to make your life more productive. So we really create an environment in the team to start creating and let them run with it. So this application was absolutely created not by me, by the team, and for the team, which was really nice. Speaking of the team, one of the things I also learned is that at Bloomberg we have people from all around the world. I'm sure many of our companies do, and we always have to do more work, more Latinos. But I really, for me, it's very important that the team likes each other. So the way I started to do this is to tell them, we're in a boat. We're in a boat. If we fail, we all sink, and that's it. Now, nobody's like going to be like a savior, like sunk the others and save themselves. We all die, or we all succeed, kind of thing. And what that did, a little morbid, but what that did was it really destroyed the competition on the team. Because now it wasn't engineers trying to shine more than the others, but they were like really trying to help each other to get their applications out and to get the code out and really be very proud of that. So I started doing that, and it really matters how you lead. Speaking of Matrix, this is when we started talking about like, hey, who has watched Matrix? Who watched the latest movies? And we really created an environment of like talking to each other, not necessarily about work. And they're like, oh, if Luis is talking for 20 minutes about movies, I guess that's okay. So then they started having lunch together. And then, having a good hour of lunch, talking together and interacting. And that was amazing for me to see that these people that didn't know each other, now they're becoming colleagues. Now they're becoming friends. Now they're working together to really get that victory as a teamwork. And that was fantastic. Then another thing that we do at the team is every single little win, we celebrate it as a team. I think the team thinks I might be a team leader or a cheerleader, because I'm always like, yes, that was awesome, great, emoticons, all over. And I think it's very important to value, because whether some people don't need it, a lot of our engineers really, at least in our team, really need that support, and really that validation of what they're doing matters. And also when things go bad, we as a team, again, we're in this boat. Hey, we have a leak on the boat. We have to fix it together. And we grieve together when we have failures as a team. And it's important to acknowledge the failures and really just do a little bit of an acknowledgement of like, well, yeah, that sucked. We could do better, right, team? And when you do that, you really learn that it's not about pretending we're perfect, but just knowing that we're a team and trying to do the best we can. So applications show, by the way, sorry, this is an application that we have where everybody gets to display their applications, like a team page, and then every team at Bloomberg has it, in engineering has it. Okay, so now it's the next lesson was really becoming part of the power users. As we kept getting applications out there, we came up with this one called Doc. You notice Doctor right there doesn't have a mask. During 3 years, Doctor had a mask. But we removed it this year, cautiously optimistic there. Doctor is used to look at all the crashes that a particular user has. So as building Doctor, you can imagine that application that was building was crashing. So we started using our own application to build our own application. And that's when I realized the importance of being a power user of your own tool. And the reason why is because the engineers in the team that started building this application started realizing that as using them, there were a couple of things or a couple of features that we didn't build that were annoying, that were not efficient, and then they came up with the best ideas for the product. Some of the best features that Doctor has didn't come from me. It came from the team being a power user of their own game. So when they became the best user of Doctors, not only they know the best features to add, they know what the bugs are, they always know how to crash it, which I'm like, maybe we should just fix that. And then they also become your trainers of the functions. So as engineers started like using the functions, we created we have a product called Instant Bloomberg, which is how you will communicate. We also do a Slack Flex. And then they start really talking to our engineers, so like the tips and tricks, and they start doing talks, and it just self-fulfill. It just kept going like that. So big thing for us was, big lesson for me is become a power user. Use your function in the work that you do, or your application, sorry. Okay, now again, this one happened on 2019, so nobody cared or knew what CDC was. But then obviously it happened. And I want to echo something that I heard earlier today. It's like, another lesson we had here is as we build more applications, the number of people in the team didn't increase linearly with that. It simply, plateau. But the number of applications that we kept building and the support that we had to produce really kept increasing. So there is this realization that there is infinite work, but there is finite time. And I think we need to be okay with that. I'm sure that other companies are the same, but we just have so much stuff to do that I would love to do today. But the reality is we won't. And let's be okay with that. Because there is a thing that is work-life balance. And for us, has been extremely important. And that is what we really play long game on our engineers. Because we want them to enjoy it. We want them to grow. We want them to become better and better engineers, better person. Work-life balance plays a huge role in allowing them to create that growth. You're not going to win all of them, right? It's not a rosy thing. I made many mistakes. When we released CDC, we released it in a town hall for the whole company, live demo, amazing. And I said, you have this new functionality, just run CDC on your terminal. And everybody ran it, and we crashed because we had a memory leak in our Solar. So that happened. And literally live, we just crashed. And I was doing a live demo, lesson learned, do videos. We had to call it off. It was very embarrassing, very embarrassing. But again, you just know that you won't win them all. You have to lose some. And I kind of laugh about it now. It's recorded, so it's very tough to watch. And then finally, as a lead, I started taking many for the team. That, all my fault. I should have really realized that when I spoke that people were going to run it and crash. As a lead, they have really appreciated when I start up and say that was my fault. That was me, and that radical responsibility of I should have foreseen this for my team. They really appreciate it. Sometimes it's true, sometimes, you're really stepping up, but it has really been good. As the years went by, the team ran, everything is good, you feel everything is on track. And then you get this manager blues, right? where you ask yourself, you go on vacation, you come back, and everything is perfect. And you're like, does these people need me? Like, what am I doing here? And that's the irony, right, of becoming a manager. If you're an excellent manager, they don't need you a lot at all. But like, no. I get these moments of like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? And it's that reminder of like, no, wait. You're still building your team. Your team still has a life, and they're still learning, and they're still growing, and they still have aspirations. One of our team members at the time joined TC39, Technical Committee 39 for JavaScript, and put the proposal for records and tuples. Some of you might be aware. And that was fantastic, right? And this is something that, like, you can still lead them. They still have an entire life there, and you're the leader. So whenever I get this a little bit of like, what am I doing here? I look at my team and I really get inspired because there is so much to do. There's always, obviously, juniors that haven't watched The Matrix, so there is always people that you have to indoctrinate. You develop, you grow together, and little by little, you keep building things. Another mascot here completely happened before the code existed, Envy. It allows us to see all of the connected terminals around the world. At an application that, again, the team built, and the collaboration of the team. Giving feedback is very important. I did say that my team thinks I'm a little bit of a cheerleader. This is true. But when I have to be candid and honest, I'm very strong on my feedback. And what I mean strong is I'm very direct and trying to make a point and like to show that there are things that we can do better. So giving feedback is very important. And when we start not doing it, like my team was like, I really need to hear about this. I really need to stop you approving my PRs and telling me how can I code better. Oh, okay. Let's change a lot. So it's an important thing that I have kept going for all the team. And really, if you want to make your engineers awesome, let them know that. I have my one-on-ones, and I think all of them know this script, not a script, but like this scene that has happened where I tell them, my job here is to make you awesome. You need to be the best version of yourself, and I'm here to help you. And they know I said that. Now, I don't know if they have talked with each other to know that I told everybody this. Well, now they're going to know. But anyway, I do want to make you awesome. Cool. Life is tough. We're in very turbulent times. We know this. In our industry, in our world. But one of the things that I really try every time is to just have fun and enjoy my work. Enjoy what I wake up on Monday mornings, commute. We do go to the office and commute to the office and enjoy that and be part of that. So I really try to keep a glass 3/4 full attitude to the team. But when tough times happen, we need to acknowledge them, and we cannot skirt around it and pretend that bad things don't happen to our teams, to our work, to our world. So when things are bad, we need to really acknowledge them and be with your team for them. They really appreciate it. I talk a lot about defeat. I have a lot of them. But you learn a little bit on all of them. Hopefully, I keep making less mistakes, I think, on the things that I made in the past, and keep learning and reflecting on that, doing like a very self-evaluation and post-mortem has really helped me. Work balance for me is massive, and this is something I teach the team. It's super important for them to have work balance. This is the long run, right? It's very, very long-term career. So it's very important for me. I want them to have fun. I really want them to enjoy their job. Now, every fun is different for every team member. Work with them. Learn what it is. Learn what really, motivates each one of your engineers. Get to know them. And I always tell them they're not in a job. They're building a career. And you keep building on that. It's like a video game, and you have like a ton of stats, and you start on one, and then you keep building all your points. I also mentioned that during evaluation period, so they're all in a video game. It's good. And then finally, I'm standing here after making the tough decision of leaving my software engineer, senior software engineer behind, picking the managerial track. And the last things that I know today that might change is that feedback is key. I ask it to my managers and my manager to tell me as candid feedback as I can. My wife provides excellent source of infinite feedback, so that's good. I'm far from perfect. I don't want to be perfect. All I want to do is to have goals and keep improving a little bit at a time. And hopefully that leads a better team and a better culture around the team. So really, leaving the ego at the door like I did at the beginning has allowed me to really enjoy my career, really enjoy my team, and hopefully build better engineers and better human beings in this planet that really, really needs it. And that is mascot-driven development. Thank you. Gracias. 감사합니다.